Hey, like I said, coming to you from my home office in shelter in place under those restrictions. I've been complaining for a couple days that I wanted a response from the governor. It didn't matter what kind of guidance or whatever she offered. I just wanted something, And then I realized when she came out with that guidance that I actually did have a very specific opinion of it, and I didn't like the fact that we're continuing shelter in place. I'm submitting to it, but I'm not thrilled about it, I guess. The thing is, though, is what really struck me was my attitude was probably the problem in the whole thing. And I was just reminded of Ecclesiastes 3. It talks about, there's a time for everything. There's a season for being born. There's a season for dying. There's a time to plant. There's a time to reap. There's a time to kill. There's a time to heal. There's a time to break down. There's a time to build up. And it keeps going. There's just these seasons that we have to go through. And sometimes there are seasons that we enjoy, and sometimes there are seasons that we don't enjoy. And right now, as we continue in a season of, that we're not enjoying, it's important to just make sure that our focus is on the Lord, that we're allowing ourselves to remember that, this is a season that we will get through, that He will carry us through this, and He will support us regardless of the season that we're in. A couple of updates, though, just as far as the church goes. So we have the current shelter in place until April 28th. The plan that we are going with is we're going to reopen on a limited basis on May 31st. So that'll be the last Sunday in May. The plan will be to have limits for every service, that we will practice social distancing within that. We're still sort of working out what those specifically look like, how many services we're going to need, all those details. But for now, the decision is that we're going to go ahead and reassemble in a limited way on May 31st. You can kind of circle that. We will be giving you more details on that going forward. What we expect from you, what we hope from you, what we'll be providing. And again, we're going to continue the live stream, I think, for the foreseeable future. So if the 31st isn't a date that you're comfortable with, we understand that. We're not going to yank the live stream based on that. So just be aware that that's our plan sort of overall. I did want to give you guys an update too on the loan and sort of the giving situation. We applied for the loan, the small business loan, with the congregation's approval. We were approved for about 10% of what we applied for just this last few days. So we're going to accept that. It's not nearly as much as we sort of hoped to get, but we were able to get, a small amount. That being said, that's not that much of a concern because, to be honest, you guys have really come through as far as giving. April was a great month for us as far as giving, and so we're really appreciative of that. We want to say thank you to you guys for stepping up. I know economically this is not easy for a lot of people, and yet the Lord has blessed us as through you. You guys were generous and you gave, and so we definitely appreciate that. We're probably not going to have to make any serious cuts, just based on our current projections and everything, which is, a huge blessing. There are a lot of churches that are in a lot of trouble financially, but you guys have just, you've been generous, and we just want to thank you for that. So overall, we're coming back the 31st, and you guys have been awesome through this, and so I just want to say thank you, and we're going to keep, being before the Lord on how we can help other people find and follow Him. One other thing, though, as we come out of this, and even as we're in the middle of it, to be honest, there's a lot of people that are questioning sort of where their lives are at. This alone time, spending time with just family and not being able to distract yourself as much has really caused a lot of people to kind of question where they are as people, where they are in their lives, what they really believe. And so I think we have opportunities going forward to really share the hope that's within us, to share the gospel with people and tell them about the good news that has changed our lives. As they sort of ask those questions of themselves, I think it's important that we be listening to their questions and responding with the truth of the gospel. So I just want to encourage you, whatever it is, to continue to reflect Jesus and to continue to point people to Him. We'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we'll see you on the 31st.